we saw on the episode that Chris had her little house tour thing.
Oh my God.
And you know what killed me? The way you described her and you're her daughter is the way like I would describe her. Like a normie.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But you're not a normie.
Yes, I am.
No, but the way you described her, you were like, it's wild and probably such a compliment to her, but also just shows who Kris fucking Jenner is. The fact that you still see her
Oh my gosh.
in
I
that
love
way
it. Yes.
of like so fabulous.
But
Everything.
I love the fantasy of Kris Jenner.
Yeah.
Like when people are like, why do you call her Kris Jenner? I'm like, I don't all the time. But sometimes she deserves the title, the full name title, because she's so fabulous and zsa. And I just like, oh.
Like I love you all to death, but like where would I rather be invited?
Hello.
That house.
Same.
With a martini
Yes.
and a ciggy.
Hello.
You know?
Fuck
so
yes.
I think we all related to you saying that. And then there's a lot of Scott this season and him being a little, as I say it, you would maybe put like a little whiny about the Kourtney situation.
Yeah.
And you're the closest with him, it seems like, from fam.
I think we all have our own relationships, and he's definitely, I love him to death. But I think I have probably the most either empathy or patience for people. That doesn't mean that other people don't. I just, like, Kimberly is very, like, a no-nonsense girl. She's like, I don't have time for this, but she still will be there for everyone. I just think I have a little more patience and I deal with people just differently. But, yeah, I think he's definitely being whiny, and I think, like, it's interesting because there's a lot that happens, but then, like, I don't know why even when we're together talking, sometimes like I forget I'm like, wait, but you did have a girlfriend. Like sometimes I'll forget.
You get sucked into his kind of story.
Right. And I sometimes regret like, well, why didn't I say something? Like, but Scott, like you had like a 2-year-long relationship and that just ended or something like that. And I do get sucked into the story too. And so, but I'm like, no, I need to say things more as well.
Yeah. I think that Kendall put him the most in his place so far.
Yes.
Like where she was like, Kourtney's my sister. She said it very like point blank. Like Kourtney's my sister. If I had to choose somebody to be there, it's Kourtney and not you. And he still didn't really get it.
Right.
Has that affected like your relationship with him though? Like the engagement of Travis?
I don't think it's affected our relationship with him. I definitely think like we had to say, okay, enough. Like if we're going to hang out, it can't always be, you can't always just talk about court. Like we got to talk about other things.
Yeah.
So we definitely had to start just setting some boundaries there. Because at first I think we all felt, I don't know if it was bad or what, but we all wanted to, I think, talk him through. And then we were like, okay, we did our part.
Yeah.
Now let's move on.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kendall was, and she's not confrontational. So for her to do that, I was actually proud of her just for whatever she felt that she needed to say. I was like, okay, you go, Ken, because she's not like that.
Right. We never saw, I like seeing her in those moments. I felt like, I mean, not that it probably doesn't feel good to get that angry, but it was nice seeing that moment.
She definitely doesn't, like she didn't like that she went there, but I wish she saw how good it was and how it is good.
Because I'm saying the only one that literally told him something that should be very understandable on his end.
Yeah.
She's my sister, her over you.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day. Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry.
But so even though you weren't the one to tell him straight up, you and the family are known to give the best advice. You were even asked, you had some interview with all of you and someone, the host asked like, who gives the best advice? And everyone pointed to you. Oh
my gosh, that's scary.
Is it?
I don't know.
Does everyone come to you for advice?
I think they do. But again, I think because I love to listen. I love for people. Like I feel honored that people do come to me and want to talk about either their problems or the good things happening in their life. So I like to listen and give people my attention. There's a difference between just letting someone talk and you're not really like hearing them, and as opposed to like I'm genuinely listening and I'm going to have a response for you and I'm just going to give you feedback. And I don't know if it's bad or good, but I just want people to know that I'm actually paying attention.
But I feel like it's so good. But the question is, do you feel like you take your own advice? Like when you're facing situations, do you like Coco to Coco? Like give yourself the kind of talks you give your sisters?
No, I don't think most people take their own advice.
True.
I think it's so easy for us to give advice. I think a lot of people, or to give our opinions, even if they're unsolicited.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's as easy for us to take our own
Right.
advice. And a lot of the times I know so much better than what I do. It takes me a minute to get there.
A minute. So I was at the premiere, as you know,
Yes.
which I loved so fucking much. And while we were watching the premiere, it was the first episode. Everyone knows this moment. You're with Tristan. You bring up like the first cheating situation. He was like, "Yeah, it's in the past. It's in the past. Never gonna happen again." And then I, as an audience member, heard somebody be like, "Liar!" And I just want to tell everyone that like no one knew it was you. Like everyone was quiet and no one laughed because we thought it was a rando.
So
But then articles came out that it was you, and I was like, wait, it was Khloé. I would have like gotten up. I would have like, and other people would have too.
So the whole thing, I think, so sometimes I forget where I am. I think I'm like insane. So I'm sitting next to, the twins are on one side of me, Kim and Pete, Court and like I'm with family, and I'm like blacking out that I'm at a real public theater, I guess. And the whole liar thing is from the Palm Springs.
Oh, we know.
Yeah. So I was just like, imitate, because I'm watching this episode,
Ugh.
and it's different than when you're either watching a rough cut, or like, it's just so many months have gone by, and I'm watching it, and I'm now a viewer, and I'm like, what the fuck is this bullshit that I'm listening to? Like, I'm just like, ugh. And that was the first thing that came to mind. But I also felt like, and this totally could have been me making it up, was that everyone was like looking at me to see my reaction. And I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah.
Like, because I think everyone was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But I
I want
don't
to tell
know
you a
if that's
secret.
real.
We're all uncomfortable when he's on the screen.
Oh my God.
And I wanted to ask you how you feel about that, because I know that so many people are protective of you, and now we're kind of angry at him, right?
Mhm.
And we're like, get away, or seeing that moment and feeling like it's a lie because it did happen again. So, but at the same time, you have beautiful, true together.
Mhm.